this is Lindy.
And I'm Russell.
From Love, Create, Celebrate. Welcome back to our channel where we share all of our DIY and home renovation videos.
Today we have an exciting project because we have a loft space that we've been working on.
If you have not subscribed to our channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future DIY and home renovation videos.
We spent the last couple of weeks working at my brother and sister-in-law's place on their loft space over their garage.
They had this beautiful A-frame space that they wanted to shiplap the whole ceiling and put some beautiful moldings up, put a little kitchenette in, and make a whole beautiful guest space. And Russell got to work helping them put all that together.
And we're really lucky because we were able to team up with Metrie, who sent us all the shiplap and moldings for the project.
So we're going to show you exactly how we put the shiplap up on the ceiling, show you some of the other steps we did to complete the space, and then you're going to see a full reveal of their A-frame loft.
When we got to the space, a lot of the work was already done. The walls had drywall installed, the walls had also been painted, all the electrical was roughed in.
So the next step was to finish the ceiling.
You can see we started with a really nice open and bright space. My brother and sister-in-law had thought about doing drywall, but when we had talked about maybe doing shiplap,
They fell in love with the idea because they thought it could add a lot of character.
in this video, we're going to be talking about how to add shiplap to an A-frame with a sloped ceiling.
But to add it to a flat ceiling will be relatively the same process. So this is the Metrie shiplap. It's actually the complete system, which means that it comes pre-painted and finished so that all you have to do is install it on your wall. The shiplap comes with tongue and groove, and that way you can stack it on top of each other and you get your same seams along the whole install, which gives you a really good finished look. And then once you have it installed, you can get the Metrie complete finishing kit, which comes with a wax crayon, a filler, and a little scrub pad. So what you use this for is fill any of the nail holes that you had from installing it on the ceiling. This kit is also color matched to the Metrie shiplap so that you have an all blended look once it's all installed. You can also get the Metrie complete caulking, which again is color matched to the shiplap. So if you have to use any caulking along the edges, that you can fill in all those seams and everything looks the same. The most important step to your shiplap install is the first row. You want to make sure that it's level and straight, because if it's not, your errors will amplify as you work your way up the ceiling.
We set the board on the wall to determine where the bottom of it would meet the drywall, and we put a mark on the wall.
Then we used a laser level to put a line along the entire wall to use as a reference point to start the bottom row. We did some planning because we wanted each board to start and end at a joist. We also wanted each row to be staggered, so we planned out our pattern ahead of time and repeated that as we went up the ceiling. One last item to note is if your walls or ceilings aren't straight or you don't have enough structure behind your drywall, you can add some little shims behind the shiplap to secure two joists in order to hold the boards in place. And if your room isn't square, whether you're doing a vaulted or flat ceiling, you may need to do a tapered cut to keep all your boards in line. Once you get the first row done, the following rows are fairly quick and easy to install. The first step is to take a measurement to the wall or the center of the joist you're attaching to. Then you transfer that measurement to a shiplap board, making sure you have it in the right orientation. Then you cut the board to size using a saw, and in our case we used a compound sliding miter saw. We gave the ends of the board a really light sand to remove any fuzz or tear out from the miter saw cut. You can see here when you put the board in place that the design of the tongue and groove already creates a perfect gap. You then can install the board by using a 2-inch long 18 gauge brad nail at every joist or stud. Next, you can use the wax crayon that you got with your Metrie finishing kit to fill the nail holes. You can use the scrubber pad and little scraper to remove any of the excess wax. Because of all the natural light coming into the room, we were able to see some scuff marks, but we found that using the tools conservatively gave us the best final results. Because you're dealing with 8-foot boards and a sloped ceiling, you definitely want to have 2 people to do this install.
If you have a wall that isn't square, this is the easiest way to transfer that angle onto your shiplap board. Using a scrap piece of wood against the wall, I transferred the angle from the wall onto the board using a pencil. I then took the board to my miter saw, matched the angle, and cut off the excess piece. This should give you a really nice tight fit against the wall. Depending if you're working on a ceiling or a wall, you might run into either switches, outlets, or light boxes. If you do, you can just use a jigsaw or a multi-tool to cut those holes out. To finish off your shiplap job, you're just repeating all these steps over and over until you reach the top. Once all the shiplap was installed, we moved on to trim out all the windows and install vinyl plank flooring. With the flooring in place, the next step was to install the baseboard. For my brother and sister-in-law's loft, they also wanted a kitchenette area, so we got to work assembling the cabinets they had purchased. To finish off the space, we installed a tiled backsplash, a fridge, a microwave, and some floating shelves. The final touch on the room was to install a faux wood beam at the peak of the vaulted ceiling. The beam was actually made out of foam, which made it super lightweight and easy to move and install. Getting the beam in place gave them the rustic farmhouse look they were going for. And here's how their loft space came together. When you first enter the loft, they have this beautiful farmhouse bathroom. We helped them complete the space about a year ago. We don't actually have a video on the space, but we will include a link with a blog post in the description below. Coming into the main living area, you can really see how all the elements came together. The shiplap on the ceiling added texture and visual interest to the space. It was a perfect way to highlight the A-frame ceiling. The kitchenette was a great addition to the space. It allowed for some extra storage as well as a place to prep food and drinks. Another neat feature is this motorized TV mount. It holds a TV against the wall when you're not using it, and when you want to view the TV, you can hit the remote and it allows the TV to come down for easy viewing. My favorite feature of the space is the big windows and the open concept, just allowing lots of natural light into the space.
What did you think of that loft reveal?
I know my brother and sister-in-law love the space. I mean, they picked some really cool elements. They're the ones who sourced the cabinets and the beams, and I actually was able to work a bunch with my brother, which was a lot of fun. So I couldn't be happier with how the space came together myself as well.
The Shiplap ceiling looks amazing. It's the perfect addition to that space. And yeah, I think the space all came together really beautifully.
I know, I want to put my RSVP in for when I want to stay there.
If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Let us know your favorite part in the comments below. And as always, hit the bell so you don't miss out on future DIY and home renovation videos.
Thanks so much for watching.